Those who make peaceful revolution impossible will make violent revolution inevitable.
So, I mean, it really almost makes you ask the question, would it have been better if we never invented the internet?
Senator Rockefeller?
Yes.
I'd like to know if you're aware that we, the American people, are aware of the agenda of the Council on Foreign Relations and the Bilderberg Group. And if you could comment on that, please, because very concerning to a lot of us.
You know, I have 37 people lined up right outside Senator Schumer's office, all of them wanting to answer precisely that question.
Well, could you just take a brief moment and let us...
No, because we're not talking. We're talking about something a little bit more.
Well, something that's so important, it sort of transcends everything else that we're talking about, sir. Could you comment on that, please?
No.
I'd like to know about the Bilderberg Group.
Where's your self-suppressed credentials?
Well, we have them, sir.
I'd like to know about the Bilderberg Group, sir.
Well, that's not part of our discussion.
When can we discuss that with you, sir?
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, and this is for the senator. This is the scientific proof of the nanothermite that's been found in multiple samples of the World Trade Center dust by scientists from around the world. Basically, conclusive proof that there's an Article 3, Section 3 treasonous cover-up going on about 9/11, sir. So
We'd love to get your opinion on that, too,
wait,
sir.
what did you say?
Excuse me, please.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank
well,
you.
Two families, the Rockefellers and the Osborns, are particularly significant. John D. Rockefeller Sr. contributed a large amount of money to build the Cold Spring Harbor Laboratory in the early 1900s, which housed the Eugenics Records Office from 1910 to 1944. Rockefeller influence also spread overseas to Germany, where the Kaiser Wilhelm Institute for Psychiatry and the Kaiser Wilhelm Institute for Eugenics, Anthropology, and Human Heredity resided. Much of the money used to run these facilities came directly from Rockefeller. These institutes became centers for Nazi eugenics programs during the reign of Adolf Hitler.
Do you agree your family starting the modern eugenics movement?
That's
the Rockefeller
called
family
misprision.
that started eugenics. Hitler looked up to the eugenics that your family has started.
Okay, sir.
I think it's time for me to really start moving quickly.
If you could just address some of these things. If we're wrong, sir, please just tell us.
No, go find somebody else to talk
But
to.
your family did start the modern eugenics movement that Hitler is looking up to. And you don't want to talk about the Bilderberg Group? Well, what about the Bilderberg
Certainly
Group?
do.
You don't want to talk about them? They want to implement eugenics as well.
I don't belong
The truth is coming out, and there's a lot of us that are aware of it.
And that we as a people are not afraid, and we are waking up to the robber barons and the big banksters who are looting this economy with the Federal Reserve.
Well,
What do you, I mean, the Rothschilds family did start the federal, they divided Europe first, took over Europe, the Napoleon.
don't exaggerate.
No comment on that, sir? But we just want to let you know, the New World Order has no legitimacy, and that we as a people are not afraid, and we are waking up to the robber barons and the big banksters who are looting this economy with the Federal Reserve.
Well,
my name is Bill DeBerg from Brooklyn College, and I know you wrote many articles, but I think the most telling one about you is the 2008 one called Conspiracy Theories, where you openly advocated government agents infiltrate activist groups of 9/11 Truth and also stifle dissent online. I was wondering, why do you think it's the government's job, or why do you think the government should go after family members who have questions about 9/11, responders who are lied to about the air, survivors whose testimony commits, and also government whistleblowers that were gagged because they released information that contradicts the official story? Why do you think the government should do that?
I think as Ricky said, I've written hundreds of articles, and I remember some and not others. That one I don't remember very well. I hope I didn't say that.
For instance, right now, I think it would be important for us to know what our monetary authorities are thinking about and talking about and planning internationally, because this system isn't working and a new system is going to be devised, and I'm sure it's been discussed. I'd like to know if there's plans for another pseudo-Bretton Woods agreement. It's very, very important to us. It's important to our sovereignty. It's important to our well-being, but we don't even have the right to know that as members of Congress. But transparency is one thing, and I want that because I think it would expose the system to how it operates. But there's more to it than that. To me, it's the power. It's the power and the authority that gravitates into the hands of a small group of people who can create money out of thin air. This is an ominous power. It is the most powerful tool for central economic planning around. And that really has to be the issue as much as transparency. Once you have this power to control money and credit and central plan, you can distort contracts. So,
For next, I'm with WHC. Step back, please. Step back.
What happened when you attended Bilderberg in 08, sir? So what happened when you attended Bilderberg in 2008?
What goes on at Bilderberg? That's all we want to know. What goes on at the Bilderberg meeting? What do you do there? We just want to know. We're just curious. It's out there. We saw you pull into Bilderberg. Sorry, not doing anything. What do you do at Bilderberg, sir? We just have questions. What do you do at Bilderberg? What goes on there? What goes on at Bilderberg meeting? Where's the money? Where's the money for the bailout? Where is it? We're waking up, Bernanke. We'll be everywhere you go.
Wake up to the New World Order, people!
We know there's a New World Order that's being set up by Fed Bernanke and the Federal Reserve.
Private central bank!
It's a private bank looting us of all of our money. Research Bilderberg and the New World Order and HR 1207.
Rockefeller, scumbag, we don't want your New World Order, you know? You're killing a lot of people! You're killing a lot of people! Leave here! Leave Chile right now! Leave Chile! Leave Chile! We don't want your world government! Leave Chile right now! Leave Chile, okay? Leave Chile! Your family is the most disgusting in the world, you know? Leave here! Leave! You also, you're a traitor to Chile! Mr. Agustin Edwards, you're a traitor to Chile, okay? You're a traitor to Chile! What you're doing right now, okay? 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 You know everything. You know everything. You're participating with him. You're participating with him in this. Your world government will fail, okay? It will fail! Your world government will fail! Will fail! Will fail! You know it! Leave Chile right now! We don't want you here! We don't want your disgusting thing here! Leave Chile now!
Mandy in New Orleans, you're on with Michael Chertoff. Please go ahead.
Yes, thank you. Would you please allow me a follow-up, because I know predictably what this man will answer to my questions. Mr. Chernoff, please do not feign ignorance on this, because if I can find this out, certainly you know it. Recently, 6 of the 10 9/11 commissioners have stated publicly that the 9/11 commission was hogwashed, that it was set up to fail and it was a whitewash. Recently, Bethlehem Publications, 9 scientists that were given debris from the World Trade Centers have found evidence of nanothermite, a high-grade military explosive.
Okay, Mandy, thank you. We're going to leave it there because we know where you're going. Mr. Chertoff, you've addressed that question.
Yeah, I mean, again, you know, this crops up from time to time, and it has been looked at thoroughly by everybody. Frankly, you have people who witnessed the planes going into the buildings. I mean, it's I have to say, it's like Holocaust denial, and the people who believe the president was not born in Hawaii. It's just a myth.
Orlando, Florida. Nelson, Democrat. Hi. Whoop. Nelson is gone, it appears, and we will move on to Hayesville, Georgia. Clyde, Independent.
Yes, good morning. Good morning, Peter.
Good morning.
Mr. Chertoff.
Morning.
Excuse me, I have 33 years in the military, 5 years working for the Department of Defense, and to this day I still seek the cover-up on 9/11. We know that Abel Danger, which infiltrated the terrorist activities, had photographs of the terrorists, knew that they had a plan to attack targets, and a report went forward, said on either Clinton's desk, I believe it was 98, 99, or Jamie Gorelick's desk, and it was never acted on.
You write in your book about you call this a generational challenge. Unquestioned.
Michigan on our independent line. Good morning, Mark.
Good morning, C-SPAN. Good morning, America. And also good morning, Mr. McCarter.
Good morning.
Yes, I have a question about you claiming that you had no idea about that underwear bomber being helped onto that plane. I live on disability, and I even knew about that. If you've seen the evidence that I have gathered about this individual and about the warehouses that were completely filled with all of these body scanners and no airports were buying them. So then this underwear bomber thing came along, and every one of them got sold immediately. This is how they work. These elites that have hijacked the federal government are using it by use of the media, by lying to the people.
So Mark, you're saying that there's an infrastructure in place that's geared towards making money off these crises. So Mark is claiming that it's a generated crises in order to help businesses make money.
Well, I have to say, you know, after this program, I'm kind of interested in talking to my colleague, Tony Kimmery, who specializes in intelligence, to see if he is aware of, you know, the stories that somebody might have helped the underwear bomber onto this plane, because I certainly am unaware of them.
Let's go on to Devin. We already hit Chuck. Devin, Republican in Derry, New Hampshire. Good morning, Devin.
Good morning.
Hi there.
I heard your guest mention the underwear bomber a little while ago, and I just wanted to mention Attorney Kurt Haskell's testimony at the Muttalib trial last week. He was a witness to the event, and he says that Muttalib didn't have a passport and wasn't going to be allowed onto that plane, except he was escorted by two men in suits who claimed national security in order to get him onto the plane. And Kurt Haskell, in his testimony, said all this. He wasn't allowed to actually be a witness to the trial because they got him to plead guilty. But I just feel that the real terrorists that we should be afraid of is our federal government, and the TSA sticking their hands down our pants isn't going to make things better. It might.
Don't appreciate that last comment.
Alec.
Bill, Republican in Fairfield, Connecticut, our last call. Go ahead.
Yes, hate to keep hammering you with this underwear thing, but yes, there's been a lot of news about this. In fact, it was televised on C-SPAN before Congress. Undersecretary of State for Management Patrick Kennedy said that the gentleman was allowed to get on the airplane because they were tracking him, which is troubling in either case, knowing that he had a bomb on him and allowing him to get on the plane in the first place.
Again, I'm unaware of that.
All right. Mickey McCarter, senior Washington correspondent for Homeland Security Today. Thanks so much for joining us this morning.